Components of DBMS. Number one, software. It is a set of programs that lies between the stored data and the users of database. In other words, software interacts with the user application programs and database and file system of a particular storage media to insert, update, delete, and retrieve data. Software includes the database, software, operating system, and network software. Number two, hardware. All the physical electronic devices such as computers, storage devices like hard disk, and input output devices like monitor, keyboard, printer, etc. are called hardware. Hardware can be costly depending on the configuration. The maintenance cost of hardware is also high. Third, data. It is the most important component of the DBMS. The main purpose of DBMS is to process the data. Most of the organization generates, store, and process large amount of data. Database contains both the actual or operational data and the metadata, data about data or description about data. Fourth, users. There are three kinds of people who play different roles in database system. Number one, application programmer or designers. This user group is involved in developing and designing the parts of DBMS. Number two, database administrators. DBA is responsible for administrating the database. He is responsible to look after by whom database should be used and how much access is to be given to whom. We may be asked in the examination what is the meaning of DBA. Third, end users. End users are the persons who interact with the DBMS. They conduct various operations on database like retrieving, updating, deleting, etc. Next, procedures. Procedures refer to the rules and instructions that help us to design the database and how to use the DBMS. This includes procedures to log in and log out of DBMS software, to manage databases, to take backups, generating reports, etc. 6. Database Access Language. Database Access Language is a language designed to write commands to access, insert, update, and delete data stored in any database. Next, database servers. Database servers are dedicated computers that hold the actual databases and run only the DBMS and related software. The data is accessed from the database servers using client-server model. In this model, the database server acts backend and the other computers that access the data from the server are called frontends. Data is accessed from the server using command line or graphic user interface tools. RDBMS. RDBMS is the most popular database management system. It was developed by E.F. Foote, an English computer scientist at IBM in 1970. It is a type of database management system in which data is organized in the form of interlinked tables. These tables are called relations. Foreign key is used to create a relationship between any two tables of RDBMS. A foreign key is simply the primary key in a different table. Tables communicate and share information which facilitates data searchability, organization, and reporting. Relational database management systems use the language known as SQL, Structured Query Language, which is pronounced as SQL or sometimes as SQL. SQL is a simple programming language used for accessing and managing data in relational databases. An important feature of relational database system is that a single database can be spread across several tables. Oracle database, MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, and IBM DB2, etc. are the examples of RDBMS. In a relational database, rows are also called records or tuples. Columns are also called attributes. The user of the relational database system may insert new tuples, delete tuples, and modify tuples. The primary keys within a database are used to define the relationships among the tables. When a PK migrates to another table, it becomes a foreign key in the other table. Advantages of RDBMS or relational database. Number one, storing of data at one place only. It simplifies the deletion or modification of data. Data inconsistencies are avoided. Number two, reduces data redundancy. Data redundancy means that duplication of data. Third, relational database allows to deal with larger data sets easily. Fourth, ability to share data with other relational databases easily and readily. Fifth, ease of data extraction. Sixth, better backup and recovery procedures. Seventh, better security. By splitting data into tables, certain tables can be made confidential and their access can be restricted to the selected users only. Important terms related to database management system. Data manipulation languages. This is a programming language used to insert or modify the data present in a database. There are of two types, SQL and DDL, structured query language. A programming language generally used for the relational database management system which comprises tables. Data definition language. It is a syntax which helps in modifying data present in the form of tables or indexes. It is important for us to understand the meaning of syntax. Each spoken language has a general set of rules for how words and sentences should be structured. These rules are collectively known as the language syntax. In computer programming, syntax serves the same purpose. Syntax in computer programming means the rules that control the structure of symbols, punctuations, and words of a programming language. Primary key and foreign key. A primary key is a unique value that identifies a row or record in a table or database, or every single record in a database has something to uniquely identify it, and this is called the primary key or sometimes the key field. One column in each table acts as a primary key. Relational databases use primary keys to connect records from one table to other tables. For example, employee ID is the primary key of the employee table. When you got admission in school, you were given the student ID primary key. When a patient admits in the hospital, he is given a patient number primary key. This means that any treatment can be recorded on his record and he will be given the right medicines. A primary key cannot allow null values, it allows numbers and text both.
As already told, that primary key is a unique value that identifies a row or record in a table or database. Suppose there are 1000 students in a school. The students may be having similar names. There may be two or three or more students having this similar name. And in case we want to identify which student has not paid the fees, and if we point out that suppose there are three Johns in a school, and if we point out that John has not paid the fees, it will be very difficult for us to identify we are to whom from whom we are to get the fees. So in order to solve this problem, student are given student ID. This is the primary key. Each student is given a different student ID so that the same becomes a unique record. At the same time, it must also be remembered that the primary key cannot allow null values. It means that we cannot allow zero in case of a primary key. As already told, that primary, if we want that a student ID is zero, it means nothing. It should be either in numbers or in text. It may be roll number, maybe in 1, 2, 3, or in case of other employee ID, it may be A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, just like that. It may be a combination of both, or it may be only numbers or text, but it cannot be zero.
When primary key is made up of two or more columns, then it is called composite primary key or compound key.
As you can see in this figure, that two fields, that is name and address, both these keys have been joined together to make the composite primary key. These two keys have been combined together and it becomes a primary key. In this figure, you have seen that we have combined these two columns so that we can make the composite primary key.
Next, foreign key. When a primary key from one table is used in second table to locate or look up records from the first table, it is called a foreign key. The relationship between two tables is established with the help of foreign key. A table may have multiple foreign keys and each foreign key can have a different referenced table. For example, course ID column of student table works as a foreign key as well as a primary key for course table.
Here you can see two tables, student table and course table. In the course table, course ID is the primary key, but in the student table, it is appearing as foreign key. In a table, there can be only one primary key. Number of foreign keys can be more than one. Suppose there is another table called teacher table. In that table, suppose we have allotted teacher ID and teacher name. Suppose teacher ID is 001, then 002. It is the primary key. Teacher ID is the primary key in case of the teacher table. But if we add here another column, that is the teacher ID, it becomes another foreign key. So in any given table, only one primary key can be there, but there can be more than one foreign key in any given table. But for primary key will remain only one. It is to be also noted that a primary key can be used in more than one table as foreign key. The table containing the foreign key, this is the foreign key here has been used. It's always the child table. It will be treated as child table where the foreign key is there. The main table from where the foreign key has been taken, it will be the called parent table. The table child that provides the primary key is always the parent table. This can be memorized as one parent PK, many child FK, foreign key.
Thanks for watching. If you like our course, please spare some time to give a star rating to our course.